Welcome to today's spine-chilling journey through Malaysia, where the past and the supernatural collide. From abandoned mansions to eerie roads, we'll explore some of the most haunted places in the country, locations steeped in history, mystery, and the restless spirits that are said to haunt them. Grab your courage as we delve into these ghostly tales, and uncover the dark side of Malaysia's hidden gems. 10. Jalan Turi, Kuala Lumpur. In the serene neighborhood of Bangsar, Kuala Lumpur, a tragic event unfolded in 1992 that would forever cast a shadow over its peaceful facade. At Jalan Turi, a residence became the epicenter of a horrifying crime that not only shocked the nation but also birthed tales of lingering spirits and haunted whispers. On April 23, 1992, the tranquility of Jalan Turi was shattered. Two young American children of Indian descent, along with their maid, were brutally murdered within their home. The perpetrator was none other than their 25-year-old security guard. The gruesome nature of the crime was further accentuated when their bodies were discovered concealed in the septic tank behind the bungalow. Guard was subsequently apprehended, found guilty, and sentenced to death, a sentence that was carried out in 2002. Following the heinous crime, the bungalow at 10 Jalan Turi was abandoned, standing as a grim reminder of the events that transpired. Over the years, the vacant house became the subject of numerous ghost stories and paranormal claims. Childlike apparitions, passers-by and curious visitors reported sightings of ghostly children peering out from the bungalow's windows, their faces etched with sorrow. Eerie sounds. Residents in the vicinity spoke of hearing unexplained noises, including whispers and the faint sound of children playing, especially during the stillness of the night. Unsettling atmosphere. Those who ventured close to the property often described an overwhelming sense of dread and unease, as if an invisible weight bore down upon them. These accounts contributed to the bungalow's reputation as one of Malaysia's most haunted locations, drawing both thrill-seekers and paranormal enthusiasts eager to experience its eerie ambience firsthand. In an attempt to erase the dark legacy, the bungalow was eventually demolished. However, the vacant lot continues to evoke curiosity and trepidation. Some believe that the spirits of the victims remain tethered to the site, their tragic stories etched into the very fabric of the land. The absence of the physical structure has done little to quell the tales of hauntings, with many asserting that the area retains its spectral aura. The events at Jalan Turi serve as a somber reminder of the fragility of innocence and the unforeseen darkness that can lurk within familiar confines. While the physical remnants of the bungalow have been erased, the stories and memories persist, woven into the collective consciousness of the community. Whether one believes in the supernatural or views these tales as manifestations of communal grief, the narrative of Jalan Turi remains a poignant chapter in Malaysia's history. 9. Bukit Tungku, Kuala Lumpur. In the heart of Kuala Lumpur lies Bukit Tungku, an affluent enclave known for its sprawling colonial mansions, lush greenery, and winding roads. But beneath this veneer of opulence, whispers of the supernatural permeate the air, painting Bukit Tungku as one of Malaysia's most enigmatic and haunted locales. Formerly known as Kellie Hills, Bukit Tungku has long stood as a symbol of prestige and luxury. Home to the nation's elite, including politicians and dignitaries, its colonial-era architecture and secluded ambience have made it a coveted residential area. Yet, amidst these grand residences, certain abandoned structures stand as silent witnesses to tales untold. As time passed, some of Bukit Tungku's majestic mansions fell into disrepair, their once vibrant halls now echoing with emptiness. These abandoned homes became fertile ground for stories of the supernatural. One such tale speaks of a colonial mansion where a woman, overwhelmed by despair, took her own life. It's whispered that her restless spirit lingers, manifesting as eerie light anomalies and apparitions that evoke profound sorrow in those who dare to enter. Encounters with the unknown. The spectral lore of Bukit Tungku isn't confined to its deserted homes. Motorists traversing its winding roads have reported chilling encounters. The phantom motorcyclist. Legend tells of a biker who met a tragic end in a high-speed accident along these roads. Drivers recount experiences of a motorcyclist overtaking them at breakneck speed, only to vanish into the night without a trace. The mysterious apparition, a viral video captured a ghostly figure seated in the middle of a dimly lit road in Bukit Tungku. As the driver approached and then hastily retreated, their vehicle's dashboard flickered erratically, adding to the enigma of the encounter. Pontianak sightings. The area has earned the ominous nickname Pontianak Den, suggesting frequent sightings of this vengeful female spirit from Malay folklore. Local taxi drivers often avoid picking up women and children at night, wary of potential supernatural passengers. Despite its haunted reputation, Bukit Tungku remains a sought-after address, its allure undiminished by tales of the paranormal. For thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts, the area offers a tantalizing blend of luxury and legend. However, it's essential to approach these stories with a discerning mind, recognizing that many are rooted in local folklore and personal accounts without verifiable evidence. 8. Byram Estate, Penang. In the heart of Penang, Malaysia, nestled within the sprawling Byram Estate, stands a decaying structure shrouded in mystery and fear. Known as the 99-door mansion, this once grand colonial edifice has become a focal point of chilling tales and eerie encounters. But what led to its haunted reputation? Built in 1916, the mansion, originally named Caledonia House, was the residence of the affluent British Ramsden family. Surrounded by vast plantations, the estate thrived, first cultivating sugar cane and later transitioning to rubber as market demands shifted. The mansion's architecture was remarkable, boasting 10 rooms, each adorned with multiple doors, culminating in a total of 99, a feature that would later lend to its infamous moniker. The mansion's descent into darkness began with a harrowing event in 1948. John Streetmore Ramsden, the managing director of the Penang Rubber Estates Group and heir to the Ramsden legacy, was mysteriously murdered on the mansion's front balcony. Shot twice, his death sent shockwaves through the community. Rumors swirled, was it a competitor's doing, or the act of communist guerrillas? The case remains unsolved, casting a long, ominous shadow over the estate. Following this tragedy, the mansion was abandoned, left to the relentless grasp of time and nature. Its vacant halls and peeling walls became the perfect canvas for tales of the supernatural. Whispers of ghostly apparitions, disembodied voices, and eerie occurrences began to emerge, painting the mansion as a nexus of paranormal activity. Eerie encounters and legends. The mansion's haunted reputation grew, fueled by numerous accounts of unsettling experiences. Phantom footsteps. Visitors often report hearing footsteps echoing through the empty corridors, as if unseen entities still roam the halls. Disembodied voices, soft whispers and murmurs are frequently heard, leading many to believe that the spirits of past inhabitants linger, attempting to communicate. Apparitions. Shadowy figures have been sighted, fleetingly appearing and disappearing, adding to the mansion's eerie ambience. Some legends speak of a Bomo, witch doctor, who allegedly conducted dark rituals within the mansion, attempting to open a 100th door to the spirit world. While these tales remain unverified, they contribute to the mansion's mystique and allure. In recent years, the mansion has continued to be a source of intrigue and concern. In 2020, a mysterious fire engulfed approximately 70% of the structure, the cause of which remains undetermined. This incident further cemented the mansion's reputation as a place of misfortune and mystery. Today, the 99-door mansion stands as a dilapidated relic of a bygone era, its walls whispering tales of opulence, tragedy, and the supernatural. Despite conservation efforts, the building's future remains uncertain, as it resides on private land with an uncontactable owner. Yet, its haunted legacy endures, captivating the imaginations of locals and visitors alike. As you listen to the wind rustling through the overgrown estate, one can't help but wonder, do the spirits of the past still wander the halls of the 99-door mansion, forever trapped between this world and the next? 7. Shichung Branch School, Penang. In the heart of Penang, Malaysia, stands a decaying building, its walls cracked, its windows shattered, yet, something else lingers within. A school once filled with laughter and knowledge, now a place of nightmares. Shicheng Branch School. Abandoned. Forgotten. And haunted by a dark past too horrifying to erase. Students no longer sit in these classrooms, but the whispers of the dead still echo through the halls. What happened here? And why do those who dare step inside never forget the fear that grips their souls? Let's uncover the chilling truth. Once, Shicheng Branch School was a place of education and promise. Built during British rule, the grand colonial-style building originally served as a wealthy businessman's mansion. Over time, it was transformed into a school, a place where young minds gathered, eager to learn. But fate had other plans. Then came World War II. When the Japanese invaded Malaya in 1941, they took over Penang, and with it, Shicheng School. The classrooms were emptied. The students fled. The building was no longer a school, it became something far more sinister. A torture chamber. The Japanese Imperial Army used Shicheng as a military base, a prison, and an execution site. Captured prisoners, resistance fighters, civilians, and even children, were brought here, never to be seen again. Victims were beaten, mutilated, and executed within its walls. Some were decapitated, their heads displayed as warnings. Their cries of agony still haunt the building. The war ended. The Japanese left. But something remained. Shicheng School reopened, but it was never the same. Darkness had seeped into its foundation. Terrifying incidents and hauntings. Since its abandonment, strange occurrences have terrified those who dare step inside. The weeping children, visitors have reported hearing soft cries and distant whispers, as if unseen children are still trapped inside, calling for help. The ghostly teacher, some say the spirit of a headmistress, dressed in old-fashioned attire, still roams the hallways, checking on students that no longer exist. The bloody shadows, late at night, dark figures appear in the windows, watching silently. Some claim they are the ghosts of those executed during the war. Unseen hands, many who step inside feel an eerie cold touch on their shoulders, as if something invisible is reaching out from the shadows. The vanishing corridor, some have reported walking down a hallway, only to turn around and find the path behind them has disappeared. Possessions and sudden blackouts, there have been cases where visitors suddenly go into a trance, staring blankly at the walls. Moments later, they scream in terror, claiming they saw something too horrifying to describe. Despite its history, the school was never fully demolished or redeveloped. It still stands, its walls whispering secrets to those who listen. Some believe the tortured souls remain trapped, forever reliving their suffering. Those who enter may leave, but a piece of them never truly escapes. 6. Pulau Jerjak, Penang. Just off the coast of Penang, Malaysia, lies an island shrouded in mystery and fear. Pulau Jerjak. A place of exile. A place of suffering. A place where the cries of the forgotten still echo through the trees. Once a quarantine station, later a high-security prison, Pulau Jerjak is now known by another name, the Alcatraz of Malaysia. But even though the prisoners are long gone, something still lingers. What happened on this cursed island? And why do those who visit never forget the feeling of being watched? The truth is more terrifying than you can imagine. Pulau Jerjak's history is soaked in pain and tragedy. In the 1860s, the British used it as a quarantine center for those suffering from deadly diseases like leprosy and tuberculosis. Thousands were sent here, but most never left. The sick and dying were isolated, abandoned on the island, their bodies buried in unmarked graves. Their suffering was endless. But that was only the beginning. By the 1960s, Pulau Jerjak became a high-security prison, a place for Malaysia's most dangerous criminals. It was a prison without walls, surrounded by the sea, escape was impossible. Brutal punishments. Inhuman conditions. Prisoners who vanished without a trace. Some say guards were more cruel than the convicts themselves, torturing inmates in the dead of night. So many souls were lost here, and not all of them moved on. After the prison closed, Pulau Jerjak was left to rot. But something changed. Visitors started reporting unexplainable events. Disembodied screams floating on the wind. Ghostly figures appearing and disappearing in the jungle. Shadows with glowing red eyes, lurking just beyond the trees. Some say the spirits of prisoners still roam the island, seeking revenge. Others believe the tortured souls of the sick remain, forever trapped in a place that never showed them mercy. But the worst encounters? They happen at night. Terrifying encounters and paranormal incidents. The whispering voices, many visitors report hearing soft whispers in the jungle, as if unseen figures are talking about them, plotting their fate. The vanishing boatman, some claim to have seen a shadowy boatman rowing across the water, only to disappear before their eyes. They say he is a lost soul, forever trying to escape. Cold hands in the dark, those who explore the ruins have felt cold fingers brushing against their skin, as if someone, or something, is trying to hold them back. The phantom inmates, people have heard chains dragging across the ground, and some have even seen shadowy figures standing in the abandoned buildings, their hollow eyes filled with rage. Possessions and sudden trances, some visitors have suddenly gone silent, staring blankly into space, only to wake up minutes later, screaming in terror. It's as if something took over their bodies. Despite its history, Pulau Jerjak has been redeveloped into a tourist attraction. Luxury resorts and adventure trails now sit where prisoners once suffered. But no amount of development can erase the darkness that lingers. Visitors still feel an overwhelming sense of dread, as if the island wants them to leave. Some never dare to return. 5. Villa Navila, Johor. On a hill overlooking the sea in Johor Bahru, Malaysia, stands an abandoned mansion, a place where darkness lingers and whispers float through the air. Villa Navila. To some, it's just an old, forgotten house. But to those who dare to enter, it's a gateway to something sinister. Some never return. Others leave, but they are never the same. What happened inside Villa Navila? Why does it send chills down the spines of even the bravest ghost hunters? The truth is terrifying. Long ago, Villa Navila was said to be a beautiful home owned by a wealthy family. The mansion overlooked the Johor Strait, a picture of elegance and luxury. But what happened within its walls remains a mystery. Some say it was the site of a gruesome murder. Others believe it was cursed from the start. Whatever the truth may be, the house did not stay peaceful for long. Then, tragedy struck. One of the most famous stories is that of a girl named Navila. As legend goes, Navila lived here with her wealthy family. But greed poisoned their souls. One night, in an act of unspeakable horror, her parents were murdered, and she was never seen again. Some say her body was buried in the walls of the mansion. Others believe her spirit still roams the ruins, searching for justice. Another version tells of a jealous maid who killed Navila and her entire family, leaving their spirits forever trapped in the house. Whatever the truth, Villa Navila became abandoned, left to decay. But its past refuses to be forgotten. Unexplained incidents and paranormal encounters. The Disappearing Boy, 2013 incident. In 2013, a chilling case shocked Malaysia. A teenage boy went missing inside Villa Navila, sparking a massive search operation. Some say he was taken by spirits. Others believe the house doesn't let go of those who enter. The vanishing staircase, some visitors claim to have walked up the stairs, only to find the steps missing when they turn around. As if the house is shifting, trapping them inside. Shadows in the windows. Even though Villa Navila is abandoned, people passing by have seen figures standing in the windows, staring with hollow, lifeless eyes. The crying girl. On some nights, a child's cries can be heard echoing through the halls. Some say it is Navila, forever calling for help. Possessions and sudden illness. visitors have reported feeling dizzy, nauseous, or even blacking out inside the mansion. Some have woken up outside with no memory of how they got there. Others have felt an invisible force pressing down on their chest, as if something doesn't want them to leave. Even today, Villa Navila remains one of Malaysia's most haunted places. Paranormal investigators, thrill seekers, and the curious continue to visit, but many leave in terror. Some believe stepping inside is a mistake you can never undo. The spirits of Villa Navila do not forget. 4. Amber Court, Henteng Highlands, Pahang. High in the misty hills of Henteng Highlands, Pahang, sits a building that time has forgotten, a place where shadows move on their own and whispers echo through the empty hallways. This is Amber Court, once a luxury retreat, now one of Malaysia's most haunted places. But why? What happened here? Some say it's the land itself, cursed before the first brick was laid. Others believe the spirits of those who met tragic ends still linger, unable to leave. But one thing is certain, those who visit Amber Court rarely leave unscathed. Amber Court was built in the 1990s, meant to be a high-end apartment complex and hotel for visitors to the famous Henteng Highlands Casino. With its towering structure and prime location, it promised luxury, a getaway above the clouds. But something went wrong. The hotel began to decline. Rumors spread of poor maintenance, abandoned rooms, and a sense of unease creeping through its corridors. Soon, the place fell into decay, its once beautiful walls now stained red with age and neglect, giving it a disturbing, blood-like appearance. Then, the deaths began. Over the years, Amber Court became known for suicides, mysterious deaths, and eerie disappearances. Guests and residents started reporting strange occurrences, unexplainable noises, ghostly apparitions, and an overwhelming sense of dread. It is said that many gamblers, drowning in debt, came to Amber Court for their final moments. They threw themselves from the balconies, their souls forever trapped within the building's cursed walls. With every death, the hauntings grew stronger. Terrifying encounters and unexplained incidents. The shadow people, many guests have seen dark, faceless figures moving through the halls. Some wake up at night to find them standing at the foot of their bed, watching, waiting. The woman in red, a ghostly woman, dressed in red, is said to roam the corridors. Some say she was a victim of a tragic love affair, her soul forever searching for revenge. The smell of death, guests have reported an unbearable stench in certain rooms, a foul odor that no amount of cleaning can remove. Some believe it's the scent of trapped souls, unable to escape. Whispers in the wind, at night, voices can be heard murmuring in the empty hallways. Some say they are the last words of the dead, forever repeating their suffering. Elevators with a mind of their own, people have entered the elevators, pressed a button, only for the doors to open on the wrong floor, one that doesn't exist. Many who visit report strange bruises and scratches appearing on their bodies overnight, as if something unseen had touched them in their sleep. Despite its terrifying reputation, Amber Court still stands. Some rooms are rented out, and ghost hunters come hoping to capture proof of the supernatural. But those who stay too long often regret it. 3. Karak Highway, Pahang/Selangor. In the dead of night, when the mist rolls in and the road is swallowed by darkness, Karak Highway becomes more than just a highway, it becomes a nightmare. Running between Pahang and Selangor, this stretch of road has witnessed countless accidents, unexplained sightings, and terrifying encounters. Some say it is cursed, others believe it is haunted. But one thing is certain, those who drive alone at night may not be alone at all. Built in the 1970s to connect Kuala Lumpur and Perak, the Karak Highway was meant to be a convenient route. But from the very beginning, it became a road of death. Sharp curves, steep inclines, and unpredictable weather conditions made it a dangerous passage. Over the years, horrific accidents turned it into one of Malaysia's most infamous highways. Buses, trucks, and cars have lost control, crashing into ravines or colliding head-on. Some victims never made it home, their spirits, some say, never left the highway. But the horror doesn't stop with accidents. Legends speak of something more sinister: ghosts, spirits, and creatures that lurk in the shadows, waiting for unsuspecting travelers. As accidents increased, so did the ghost stories. Some believe that the souls of those who perished on the highway are trapped, forced to relive their final moments over and over again. But the most chilling legends? They come from those who have seen things that should not exist. The yellow Volkswagen. One of the most terrifying stories is that of a mysterious yellow Volkswagen Beetle. It appears out of nowhere, following drivers relentlessly. No matter how fast they go, it stays behind them. And if you overtake it, it reappears, right in front of you. But the most horrifying part? If you look inside the car, there's no driver. The lost boy. Many drivers have reported seeing a young boy walking alone on the highway, barefoot and frightened. If you stop to help, he asks, "Have you seen my mother?" But the moment you look away, he vanishes into thin air. The Pontianak. Some unlucky travelers have seen a woman in white, floating by the roadside. She has long black hair, red glowing eyes, and a blood-curdling scream that can freeze your soul. Some say she was a victim of a brutal accident. Others believe she is a Pontianak, a vengeful spirit hunting for victims. Terrifying encounters and unexplained incidents. Drivers have experienced sudden engine failure, right at the most dangerous bends, as if an unseen force is trying to stop them. A biker once felt cold hands grab his shoulders while riding, only to see nothing behind him in the mirror. A truck driver claimed to have seen his own doppelganger standing on the roadside, staring at him with empty, soulless eyes. Some who have taken the highway at night hear whispers in the wind, voices warning them to turn back. Many paranormal investigators have visited Karak Highway, capturing strange apparitions on camera, eerie sounds on recorders, and shadows moving on their own. Some refuse to return, saying whatever haunts Karak doesn't want to be disturbed. Even today, locals warn against traveling alone on Karak Highway after midnight. Some believe the spirits feed on fear, searching for new victims. 2. Penang War Museum, Penang. Perched atop Bukit Batamong in Penang, Malaysia, lies a relic of war, a place where history and horror intertwine, the Penang War Museum. Once a mighty British fortress, today it stands as one of the most haunted places in Malaysia. Beneath its walls, whispers of suffering and terror still echo, for this place has witnessed unspeakable atrocities. In the 1930s, the British constructed this massive military fortress to defend Malaya from enemy invasions. It had underground tunnels, bunkers, sleeping quarters, and ammunition storage, built to withstand any attack. But in 1941, World War II changed everything. The Japanese army invaded Malaya, and the British forces fell. The fortress was seized and transformed into something far more sinister, a prison and execution site. During the Japanese occupation, countless prisoners of war were tortured and executed here. The place became a death camp, where screams of agony filled the air. One of the most feared figures was General Tomoyuki Yamashita, known as the Tiger of Malaya. His ruthless officers carried out beheadings, their swords stained with blood. Heads were displayed on spikes, a warning to those who dared to resist. By the end of the war, the fortress was abandoned, its walls soaked in blood and tragedy. But the spirits of the dead never left. Decades passed, and the site was reopened as the Penang War Museum in 2002. But something was wrong. Workers and visitors began experiencing strange occurrences. People heard screams in the dead of night, as if prisoners were still being tortured. Some saw shadowy figures patrolling the hallways, as though the spirits of soldiers still guarded the fortress. Others felt an invisible force pressing against them, as if unseen hands were trying to push them away. But the most terrifying encounters happened near the execution chamber, where many lost their heads. Visitors have reported seeing headless ghosts wandering aimlessly, their lost souls forever searching for peace. Terrifying encounters and unexplained incidents. Disembodied voices calling out names, only for visitors to turn around and find no one there. A visitor once took a photograph near the execution site, only to find a ghostly soldier standing behind them, dressed in a tattered Japanese uniform. Security guards at night reported heavy footsteps echoing through the empty corridors, followed by the chilling sensation of being watched. A paranormal investigation recorded a woman's ghostly wail near the underground tunnels, where many prisoners were believed to have perished. Some visitors claimed to have felt sudden dizziness and nausea, as if the air itself carried the weight of suffering. The museum staff warned visitors not to stray alone, especially near the execution grounds. It is said that the spirits do not like intruders and may even follow them home. Today, the Penang War Museum is both a historical site and a place of lingering horror. Tourists visit to learn about the war, but many leave with something else: fear, unease, and an unshakable feeling that they were not alone. 1. Kellie's Castle, Perak. Nestled deep in the heart of Perak, Malaysia, stands a forgotten relic of colonial ambition, Kellie's Castle. A mansion shrouded in mystery, tragedy, and whispers of the supernatural. It was meant to be a grand palace, but today, it is a ruin, cursed by its unfinished fate. In the early 1900s, a Scottish planter named William Kellie Smith arrived in British Malaya. A wealthy rubber plantation owner, he envisioned a magnificent mansion, a fusion of Moorish, Indian, and Scottish architecture, a home that would symbolize his legacy. Inspired by the grand palaces of India, he brought in skilled artisans from Madras, even constructing an underground tunnel and a grand elevator, the first of its kind in Malaya. But fate had other plans. The Spanish flu pandemic of 1918 swept across the land, claiming the lives of many workers. Then, in 1926, William Kellie Smith himself died suddenly in Portugal before his dream was completed. His heartbroken family, unable to bear the grief, abandoned the castle and returned to Scotland. The mansion was never finished. Left incomplete, Kellie's castle became a forgotten relic, swallowed by time, and something far more sinister. Locals say that a curse befell the castle after Smith's death. Rumors spread that his restless spirit still roams the hallways, waiting for his dream to be completed. But he's not alone. The spirits of the workers who perished during its construction are said to linger in the shadows, bound forever to the walls they built. Visitors report hearing footsteps echoing through the empty corridors when no one is there. Some claim to see a shadowy figure standing by the unfinished rooftop, believed to be William Kellie Smith himself. But the most chilling presence? A ghostly apparition of a little girl in a white dress, running through the corridors, believed to be his daughter, Helen. Terrifying encounters and unexplained incidents. Many who have dared to explore Kellie's castle at night have experienced strange occurrences. Flickering lights and chilling cold spots, even in Malaysia's humid climate. Disembodied whispers, as if spirits are conversing in an unknown language. Tourists capturing shadowy figures in photographs, their faces twisted in silent screams. A group of paranormal investigators once recorded a woman's voice calling out, "Help me," but no one was there. Even construction workers in the past, when restoration efforts were attempted, reported tools moving on their own and hearing the eerie sound of a piano playing, when there was no piano in sight. Today, Kellie's castle stands frozen in time, a monument to both grandeur and despair. Some say its spirits remain trapped between worlds, bound by unfinished business. Others believe the mansion itself holds a dark secret, waiting to be uncovered. But one thing is certain, those who enter never leave the same.